should, and you learn the songs properly, and it's quite something to see. Where I just play Glory Days all the time, and that's why I still play at the Carlton. But anyway, so you're busy. What is that? You're playing every weekend with
yeah,
Dwayne?
at that point it would have been. I can't remember if I think it was every Sunday because we were filling in for the Beauties. I believe was what was going on
at Dakota.
Sunday at the Dakota. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then there was also a Wednesday residency at the Dakota. So, like, you know how you get like a month-long shit.
Right on.
So maybe like 2 months of that, and then didn't move on, but we started like playing at other places, like getting shows at the Horseshoe,
right?
Shit like that.
So, I guess it was, I can't remember who it was that told me this, but there was a show one time that Matt May's band played at Brickworks in Toronto, and
yeah.
Were you at that gig? Were you playing that gig?
Oh yeah.
So that would have been just a little while before we went on tour together, right? Like maybe the year before, or 6 or 7.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how long it would have been between those gigs, but it wouldn't have been terribly long.
Yeah. So how long had when do Pete and Leia and Josh come into your life, and Danny?
It would have been like, honestly, not much longer after I joined Dwayne Gretzky, like maybe like 3 months.
Okay.
Because one of the guys in Dwayne Gretzky was like, hey, there's this band that's like looking for a guitar player. Do you want to try it? It was this guy, Adam Hindle. I'm sure you know.
Yeah,
Adam
I met him,
Hindle. Yeah, he I think knew Peter. I can't remember exactly how.
Mm-hmm.
But, probably through Jared Rabb.
Okay, yeah.
Because, like, Adam was living with, like, some of the Born Ruffians dudes. So it was all kind of like, they were all interconnected in a way.
Who was playing? Who was playing before you? Was it Eamon?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah,
okay.
So it was Eamon McGrath, yeah. And I think at that time, he was, like, much, much more successful. Like, he had a thing going.
Really?
So he's kind of like, I think basically he just, like, wasn't going to be able to tour it.
Right.
He wasn't going to make that commitment, which is totally, that makes sense.
So when you join July Talk, or you go to rehearsal, it goes obviously well enough because here we are. What were your initial thoughts on the project?
Well, I mean, I got like these really rough demos, so it was kind of hard to really tell what it was. But it was just, it was like this bluesy thing,
mm-hmm.
and it seemed fun, and like the rehearsal was hilarious. Like I went in, I think we like played 2 songs, and then they were just like, okay, so we're gonna just like start rehearsing and then go on tour in like a month.
Oh, that was it.
Oh, okay, this is like, am I in? And they're like, oh yeah, you're the only person who learned the song. Like you're in.
Right.
Not a problem.
You were hired.
Yeah.
On the spot. That's okay. Great.
Yeah.
At that time, do they have any sort of management record deal?
Yes, not a record deal per se, but they were working with Alex, our manager, already. I think he knew Danny from one of Danny's other bands, maybe Mohawk Lodge. I'm not sure which band it was.
Okay.
But they were friends, so Alex was already interested, and they had interest from a booking agent already.
Right.
Like they had been rehearsing, I guess a booking agent had come in and seen it and was interested. So it was starting to come together pretty quickly, and they were kind of finishing the album already with Alex. I don't think he quite had his record label yet.
Okay. Where was it?
Would have been the first time.
Where was it recorded? That place behind the Horseshoe, kind of?
Yeah, it's a Dream House, yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, that's exactly. The whole thing was done there, and it was, I think that one was very much like a Pro Tools session.
Yeah.
It was very just like drums got played, and then they would loop shit and just make it like, because they're writing as they were in there.
So are you saying that you didn't do any recording on that, or did you?
I did a very minimal amount.
Gotcha.
Like some rhythm tracks. Like I just came in like right as they were finishing. And they were like, well, you want to come over to the studio and listen to stuff? And then I was like, hey, we need this part. You want to play it?
Yeah.
I'm like, great.
Awesome.
That kind of shit. But I think there's that, and maybe I think there's one song on the first album that I played everything on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Ration Well tune. I'm pretty sure I played the drum even on it, which is just
you played
one
drums on
sample.
it. Cool.
Well,
I didn't
it's a
notice
kick
it.
sample.
Yeah. Okay. Good shift.
So I hit that kick.
And Danny's like, "Okay, how did you do that, bro?"
Your timing's great.
Wicked. So it was an EP, wasn't it? The first thing that came out, or was it a full length?
No, it was a full length.
Yeah.
But there might have. I just can't remember. There might have been like an EP release thing. Because we kind of released that album twice.
Yes.
Like it got released, and then Universal picked up like a distribution deal like a year later, so we did a re-release of the whole thing with like some extra tunes, like a different version, but it's all the same.
Right. And so then, when do you all pile into a van and hit the road? And who's that? Who are you touring with? Anybody, or did you guys just?
The first tour I think was opening for the Arkells.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you've got an agent by this point.
Yeah, where this guy's dead.
Yeah.
Hey, folks. Adam Baldwin here. You were just listening to NRFW Radio. It's a pretend radio station I started last year. That was an interview with my dear friend Ian Doherty of the band July Talk. If you go on my website, adambaldwin.ca, you can listen to all kinds of garbage that I recorded. Some of it self-indulgent, but there's a couple good chats. I had a nice chat with Ian, a nice chat with Leith Fleming-Smith, my esteemed colleague, and Ryan Stanley, my longest-serving and longest-suffering band member, as well as a few hours of just songs that I like. Anyway, thanks for tuning into the 5th week of Adam Baldwin's Cross Country Chin Up. I hope you're all hanging in there all right. And here goes nothing. This is a song that means the world to me. I have it tattooed on my arm. It's a Tom Petty song. Y'all know it. Well, it started out down a dirty road. Oh, when I started out, I was all alone. As the sun went down, as I crossed the hill, oh, and the town lit up, and the world got still. Well, I'm learning to fly, and I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. Uh-oh. This is unbelievable. No, that's the last verse. Now some say life. This song means everything to me. I'll now proceed to forget the second verse. Now some say life is gonna beat you down. Yeah, and it'll break your heart. It'll steal your crown. That's not the right verse. Oh, we're not off to a good start. Week 5, we're all getting tired. Our brains are turning to mush. We're not, I shouldn't speak for all of us. Me, I'm not exercising my brain, evidently enough. This song means everything to me, man. So embarrassing. Anyway, I'll just move on to the next one, and perhaps it'll come back to me later. Was it? That's the second verse? Executive producer Ryan San Angelo is with me as always, folks. He's a little slow on the draw there with the lyrics to that song. However, he did what he could. I'm terribly sorry about that. Let's start over for real now. My friend and one of my musical heroes from this part of the world, Joel Plaskett, put out a record today. It's called 44. It contains 44 songs, which is a triumph by any measure. It's only been out a few hours, so I haven't had time to learn any of the new songs, but this is an old song that meant the world to me, and I can't wait to forget all the words to it. It's called Absent Minded Melody. It's on a record of his called La Di Da. Here's take two. It's dusk as all the shadows fall. The sun is laid to rest. At night this city comes to life as the night dies in the west. And here we stand as some local band sends circles round the clock. With smoke so thick you need a lighthouse, so loud I can't hear myself talk. Well, someone whispered in my ear, it's not like it was before. Well, I don't know what happened here. I guess we just got bored. The good old days, well, I suppose I'm glad they're behind us now. The only thing worse than growing up is never quite learning how. And late at night we toss and we turn, we lay awake till dawn. We close our eyes as the sun comes up and we're gone. I got that one. I'm batting 500 so far. That's in the major leagues. That's not too bad. Joined as always, not always. He missed the first one, but episodes 2 through 5. Emmett Stutt has been here manning the sound of this whole endeavor, and I want to thank him for being here. He gets paid very little for this particular gig, and I don't deserve to have him here, but I sure am happy to know that he's making things sound as good as they can. I'm gonna revisit that last one, the song that means everything to me and that I have tattooed on my arm for the rest of my life. I'm gonna try that again because I feel like I have to earn the tattoo that I got back. I got this. You can't see it because I'm for once I'm wearing sleeves, but I got this tattoo in Philadelphia at a place called Philadelphia Eddie's. I went with Matt Mays while we were on tour with the Gaslight anthem. And it was SoCan Payday, like the 15th or 16th of August of 2018, I think. So we had like a few $100, and we finished our sound check, and we jumped in a cab and went to this tattoo parlor that I'd been to once before with a long time ago. And we walked in and asked the guy how long it would take to do 2 pretty intricate tattoos. And he kind of looked us up and down, and he was like, well, I'll have you guys both out of here in an hour. And I got a giant eagle on my arm that says learning to fly under it. And May's got a big black rose that covers almost the entirety of his, one side of his forearm. And we were like, there's no way. But we were out of there in about an hour and 15 minutes. We hopped in a cab, and we arrived back to the Fillmore East, I think was the name of the venue, just in time. We literally got out of the cab, paid the guy, pulled the kind of Band-Aid thing that when you get a fresh tattoo. We pulled those off and walked right on the stage and played our set, and we felt pretty cool. But we gave our tour manager and sound guy, Steve Smith, we gave him a heart attack. Anyway, here's the song I love so much that I tattooed it on my arm and then forgot the lyrics too. Well, it started out down a dirty road. Oh, when I started out, I was all alone. As the sun went down, as I crossed the hill, oh, and the town lit up, and the world got still. Well, I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. Well, the good old days may not return. Oh, and the rocks might melt, and the sea may burn. But I'm learning to fly, and I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. Some say life is gonna beat you down, yeah, and it'll break your heart, it'll steal your crown. Oh, and I started out from God knows where. Oh, and I guess I'll know whenever I get there. Oh, 'cause I'm learning to fly, and I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. Yes, I'm learning to fly around the clouds. What goes up, well, it must come down. we did it. Sorry for the lazy start there. How's everybody? I hope you're good. I put the computer a little closer to me this evening. I thought I might be able to read some of this stuff coming in, but I still can't see it. I have glasses too. They're in my car downstairs, and I sure could use them. But I find I don't look good with them when I have long hair. So it's a result of my vanity. Another week goes by where I can't see what you're saying. I see some hearts and daisies and hand claps, so I can't imagine it's a bad thing. Thanks again for tuning in. This is awesome. I can't tell you how much it means to be able to perform, and I'm starting to get used to it, and beyond that, I'm starting to really love it. I may never go on the road again. Just kidding. I don't know if I can play this on piano. This is an old song. It was on my record called No Telling When, and I was in my early 20s when I wrote it, and I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to say, but I'm not quite sure I achieved it with this song. But it's kind of I guess if I, the character in the song, I suppose it is me, the person in the song, if there was a way for him to take the person that he loves back in time to get out of what I thought at the time was a pretty messy world, but boy, oh boy, when I wrote it 14 years ago as a 20-year-old, my definition of hard times was certainly a lot different than it is now. In any event, all I really wanted to do was go back to 1993 when the Blue Jays won the World Series, and this is a song about trying to time travel with a woman that I loved, I guess, if you really want to break it down. It's a song called Leaving on a Whim. She can make a coal pit shine, turn a spark into firelight, look to the stars in the middle of the night for anything that's gonna save her life. But her luck is like the passing time, it's too short and of the very worst kind. And I'm a fast man for my size, I'm pretty fast, but I'm running behind. So after winter, when you find no spring, we can leave here on a whim. He's been a good friend to me. He said to move it down to 7th Street, set up shop out of the Mercury, find the living room and play for free. Well, I would not call it a tragedy, but this place ain't what it used to be. It saved nothing at all for me. Blew it all away in 93. So after winter, when you find no spring, I'll be out here on a limb. try to steer you away from him. We can leave here on a whim. Sang a song for some mighty God. I left this stage to no applause, and I think it's time for me to move along. I don't know how, but I got it all wrong. So after winter, when you find that there's no spring, I'll be out here on a limb and try to steer you away, away from him. We'll be leaving on a whim. Oh, we'll be leaving on a whim. We'll be leaving on a whim. It's been a while since I played that. It was, I hope somebody remembered that. I wrote this song in a small one-bedroom apartment on Queen Street in Dartmouth, 61A Queen Street. It's a purple house. It's still standing there for now, but I believe they're tearing it down to build some condo buildings. It's on the corner of on the corner of Dundas and Queen Street in Halifax, in Dartmouth, not Toronto. And it was the first, it was the home I lived in with Jessie, my partner, and it was the place we took our son home to. It was the first home he ever knew, and he's long since forgotten. But I just bought this cool old '60s Fender Tremolux amp, and my little guy, when he was a small baby, he used to love the this is so nerdy to talk about, but he used to love the tremolo on the amp, and I wrote this song. Well, he'd kind of lay there. The amp was on low volume, I should tell you. I wasn't blowing his ears out or anything. But I'm kind of the same way. The trem on an old Fender amp sounds really nice, and it's kind of soothing. And I used to play my Telecasters through it, and it would kind of zonk them out a little bit. But I wound up writing this song. We didn't have much then. We still don't have a whole lot, but we had a record player, and we used to love listening to records back at that old place. And at the time, I was really obsessed with Bonnie Raitt's Nick of Time record. And truthfully, I mostly listened to it on cassette in my old Mazda minivan at the time. But anyway, it's a song called Bonnie Raitt that I don't think I've ever played on piano. I'm going to give it a go here. Well, I'm moving out of town with my wife and my child. We got our little dog Willie in a record pile. Got a nice little kitchen and a fireplace right beside the post office and a little cafe. Two if see they got deadly croissants. And my best friend Matty moving down the road to the old schoolhouse down on Octalone. Well, he'll buy me a drink and he'll save me a stool. Play the shitty jukebox at the beverage room. Well, you'll all be coming the very next day. Got a couple of records, I got a couple of tapes. I got blood on the tracks and time fades away. But I only wanna listen to Miss Bonnie Raitt. Well, I got a couple records and a couple of tapes, but I only ever listen to Miss Bonnie Raitt. Says I got a couple records and a couple of tapes. But we only ever listen to the Bonnie Raitt. Thank you. It was worth a try. How are we? Executive producer Ryan St. Angelo. Well. Emmett, we good? Folks at home, we doing all right? I see y'all. I'm stunned. I'm surprised anybody is 5 weeks into this thing. I've been doing it since the first week. We were all told to stop working and stop doing everything, and I'm thrilled that y'all are still spending your Fridays with me. This is deadly. Nobody looks forward to these more than me, believe me. What do I got here? I think this is a song, I don't know who wrote it, truthfully. I don't even know where I heard it first. I feel like it was probably Matt Mays played it for me at some point. And most of the good music that I've ever heard has come from him late at night in some hotel room somewhere. We're driving in the van. I do a lot of the driving, and I always want him riding shotgun when I'm driving because he's a great DJ, and he kind of knows by the look on my face what kind of song I need to hear. And I wish I could remember where he played this one for me first, but I'm sure glad he did. I know Graham Parsons does a great version of it. Though I don't know who wrote it. I don't believe it was him. Anyway, this is a song called The Dark End of the Street. for my bud Aaron Goldstein if he happens to be out there. At the dark end of the street, that is where we'll always meet. Hiding in the shadows where we don't belong. Living in darkness to hide our wrong. You and me at the dark end of the street. You and me. I know the time's gonna take its toll. We gotta pay for the love that we stole. Well, it's a sin and we know we're wrong. Oh, but our love, it keeps coming on strong. And tonight we'll meet at the dark end of the street. You and me. They're gonna find us. They're gonna find us. They're gonna find us someday. We'll steal away to the dark end of the street. You and me. If you take a walk downtown and you find the time to look around, if you should see me and I walk on by, oh, darling, please don't you cry, for tonight we'll meet at the dark end of the street. You and me. At the dark end of the street. You and me. At the dark end of the street. You and me. You and me, you and me, at the dark end of the street. Thanks, gang. Bottoms up. Oh boy, this is embarrassing. Tonight we always show up here at the studio for 5 o'clock, and we try to be. We sort of test everything out, make sure everything's sounding good with my manager Mel back at her house. She gives us the go ahead, and then we leave and try to hit the liquor store on the way home to make sure that we're set up for the evening. And this evening, we come to find out that the NSLC hours had changed, and I this is pretty telling, but I sort of have made a routine at this point, 5 weeks in. I like to have a couple of Blue Lobsters to drink, and I couldn't get into the liquor store, obviously, and I fired off a shot in desperation to a friend of mine, Siobhan, who works for the Nova Scotia Spirit Company, and she was kind enough to give me a couple drinks to get me through the evening, calm me down, because this is weird. It's weird singing into a computer screen and looking at a green light for what's the word I'm looking for? Just to be acknowledged, I guess. I just stare at this green light, and I'm getting used to it. I think I'm getting better at it. I don't mind saying, but in any event, I like to calm my nerves with one of these things. And anyway, I want to thank the NS Spirit Company for treating me so well and helping me out, and always hooking me up. I drink these things all the time, even when I pay for them, and I'm not just saying this because they gave them to me, but it's a great Nova Scotian business that makes a pretty good vodka soda drink, I don't mind saying. So thanks to the gang down there for brewing this up for me. And one of the perks of being a Nova Scotian internet sensation these days is that they let me try out new stuff. So a little later on, they've got I forget what it's called, a rocket. I'm going to try the NS Spirit Company Blue Lobster's new rocket. I'm going to try that on for size a little later. I feel like Ed McMahon sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to do I don't know, one or two more here on the piano, and then switch things up again as usual. Thanks again for hanging out. I see y'all. I can see the number. It's a lovely number to see. I'm still stunned. Yeah, I'll do one more, and then we'll take a little breather. This is a song by Sophie B Hawkins. I don't know anybody. I hope some folks remember this song. I don't know why it popped into my head about a year ago, and I couldn't stop listening to it. I was obsessed with it, and it took me about a calendar year to figure out there's this weird bridge in it. Anyway, I figured out the song, and I recorded it at home the other night. And anyway, it's a beautiful song by maybe a forgotten songstress from the 90s. Anyway, here goes nothing. I haven't played it before without the benefit of stopping and restarting. I guess I do have that option. I've done it once already tonight. Anyway, here goes nothing. Sophie B Hawkins, and I'll see you shortly after this. Felt like springtime on this February morning. In the courtyard, birds were singing your praise. I'm still recalling things you said to make me feel alright. I carry them with me today now as I lay me down to sleep. This I pray, that you would hold me dear. Though I'm far away, I'll whisper your name into the sky, and I will wake up happy. I wonder why I feel so high, though I am not above the sorrow, heavy-hearted till you call my name. And it sounds like church bells or the whistle of a train. I run to meet you on a Sunday, barefoot, barely breathing, as I lay me down to sleep. This I pray, that you will hold me dear. Though I'm far away, I'll whisper your name into the sky, and I will wake up happy. It's not too near, oh me, like a flower I need the rain. Oh, it's unclear to me, every season has its change, and I will see you when the sun comes out again. Now as I lay me down to sleep, this I pray, that you will hold me dear. Though I'm far away, I'll whisper your name into the sky, and I will wake up happy as I lay me down to sleep. For this I pray, that you will hold me dear. Though I'm far away, I'll whisper your name into the sky, and I will wake up happy. I wonder why, I wonder why. Thanks, gang. We'll see you in a little bit. Thanks for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. I won't kill the feed or anything this time. I'll be right back. Thanks.
Boy, those kids sound hungry to me. It's strange to listen back to that. I have definitely smoked a lot of cigarettes and sat at a lot of bars since that time. We are going to stay in the same building for this next song. Most of this track was recorded in England by the late Chris Sangarides. It was on the 2008 album Terminal Romance, the fourth studio album produced by my friend Matt Mays and his backing band El Torpedo. This was the first record of Matt's that I was involved in, and to my recollection, this is the first song on any Matt Mays record that I was involved in. It, to this day, holds a special spot in my heart. It's a fantastic end to a record. The pedal steel stylings of Dale Murray. This is Matt Mays and El Torpedo, Long Since Gone.
One lost friend said one day, protect the direction that you found. Now I'm 30,000 feet up, shaking violently around. Nobody knows me that well. That's just the way it's gotta be. But this flight attendant's got me stoned. I wanna tell her everything about me, and she could come with me through the days and weeks and months and passing years. Long gone, lost in flight. I said I'd never ever leave you. I think you knew that I might. Tonight I miss my babe. And the midnight song we sing, I can't go back now. And the sunset shines on the silver rings. This bullshit airline's got me down. It's no earthly good to me. Just get me where I need to go. Rio, Mexico. The National Post front page said George W. Bush is dead, and the Jays beat the Reds. 10 million people broken hearted disappeared forever through the days and weeks and months and passing years. Long gone,
Hey, gang. I'm back. Adam Baldwin here, Cross Country Channel, Volume 5. I hope you enjoyed NRFW Radio. What's remarkable is that for weeks now, some of my idiot friends have been writing in the chat, play Long Arm, play Long Arm. And Long Arm is the first song that I ever recorded, and I recorded it, I remember, it was probably 2006. My first band, we won a Battle of the Bands at Prince Andrew High School, and we got studio time in this place. And we recorded that song, Long Arm, and what strange kismet it was when I plugged my phone in to just start the radio station up. It just operates on a cycle. You can't pick what you listen to. It just plays and plays over and over again. And as soon as I hit go, that stupid goddamn song, Long Arm, came on, and I just about walked out of the building. But, I was 18 years old when I wrote it. I got arrested down at the dockyards in Halifax because I drove through a gate that I evidently wasn't supposed to drive through. The military police apprehended me. I was working down there, I should mention. I wasn't just trespassing or anything. I was working there. I was arrested and charged with unlawfully entering a secure military area. And to make a long story short, I tried to fight the charge, and I went to court. My friend Daniel, my best friend Daniel, testified on my behalf, and the judge, basically at the end of all of it, I thought I had a really good case. I was representing myself because it was night court, and he's the arresting officer who got on the stand, and he stretched the truth quite a bit about what had actually taken place. But in any event, the judge, there was no jury. It was just a judge. The judge sided with the military police, and I was fined. It was a hefty fine, certainly for an 18-year-old. And I was all mad, and I thought that what you should do when you get mad about something is to write a song about it. And so I did, and then we recorded it. I remember singing it just in this building many years ago. And Lil Thomas, the guy who runs the studio here, I remember he didn't think much of us, and we were bozos. We were just a bunch of bozos who'd never been in a real recording studio. And anyway, I kind of shudder when I hear that song, but when I think back on all of that, it is kind of nice to hear it. Anyway. Moving right along, my partner Jessie, mother of my children, I love her dearly. She's the most patient woman that somebody like me could ever hope to wind up with, and she asked me to play this song, and I can't. Why would I say no to her? She's at home with our kids on Causeway Road, holding down the fort, and I'm really proud of her. Every day, she's forever trying to better herself, and I admire that. Sometimes I get static, and I feel comfortable in my mediocrity, and she's not, and she's one of my heroes, for sure. So, Jessie, this is for you, if you're still awake. When the time gets right, I'm gonna pick you up and take you far away from trouble, my love, under a big old sky, in a field of green. Oh, there's gotta be something left for us to believe. A while away today, good fortune comes our way, and we'll ride down the King's Highway. No, you can't hide out in a six-gun town. We wanna hold our heads up, but we gotta stay down. And I don't wanna end up in a room all alone. Don't wanna end up someone that I don't even know. Love to ride away today, good fortune comes our way, and we'll ride down the King's Highway. Na 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 na. Oh, I'll wait today, good fortune comes our way, and we'll ride down the King's Highway. I'll wait today, good fortune comes our way, and we'll ride down the King's Highway. Hey, thanks, gang. Okay, I'm getting word. Wow. This is big news, folks. Breaking news. Breaking news. This all happened very quickly. We have merchandise for sale on Bandcamp. These guys here. It's your Adam Baldwin cross-country chin-up. Officially licensed T-shirt. The logo, the images here, designed, of course, by my dear bud Glenn Leck, who is designed. He did all my record covers, and put together the images for a lot of the T-shirts I've sold over the years. But printed by my really good friend Alex McCaskill, who owns a printing shop here in Halifax called Midnight Oil, and he's obviously a lot of his work is dried up, but he whipped these up in the last couple days, and they're for sale on Bandcamp now. The link, I think, is in the description of the very video you're watching right now. There's not very many of them, so get them while they're hot. I can't thank Alex McCaskill enough. He spent all day today whipping these puppies up to have them ready to go for this evening. And I remember many years ago when I first started touring, I called him up and I asked him if he knew how to make T-shirts. And he said, no, but I'll figure it out. And he did it. He whipped up this image for me. It was a big buffalo head with my name on it that I still think is a really cool rock and roll T-shirt. He made those for me, and I've hired him as often as I can. He does the famous Matt Mays Shore Club posters every year. He's a talented young lad, and he works his hoop off. And if you're in Halifax and you need printing of any variety done, wedding invitations or posters for whatever, or some design work. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant artist, and I love him dearly, and I'm so proud of him. He's one of the hardest working guys in the city, and I want to thank him for putting those T-shirts together. And it says sold out. Maybe I don't understand how this is all working. Maybe they're sold out already. I don't know. There weren't very many of them. Oh, I didn't prepare myself very well. I think they're for sale now. Maybe they're not. Oh, I blew it. Anyway, next week. Melanie says next week they're available. Not now. I'm so sorry. Oh, no, Ryan said that. Oh, wait. Oh, God. We'll make more. If they're sold out, we'll make more. I can't do this. What am I doing? I'm going to sing a song and collect my thoughts here, and executive producer Ryan St. Angelo is going to talk to my management, figure out what I was supposed to say, because I blew it. Anyway, here's a song that I think 3 out of the 5 weeks I've tried to play it, I made a mess of. You can see there's a ongoing theme here. I make a lot of mistakes, folks. I apologize for all of them, but I am what I am, what I am. Oh, boy. I'm trying to sell booze here. I'm trying to sell T-shirts. What have I done? What have I created? A monster, that's what. They can't. I can put it to you this way, I'm a cliche. I'm the picture of just what you wanted someday. But I'm a deadbeat, I'm the culprit. You ain't the only one who's ever gonna fall for it. And I got problems in my psyche. I'm a live wire, that's what you asked of me. I'm being agonized, I thought I had to be. I'm being crucified, was told I had to be. And I spent half the night just crying out in vain. But I got half a mind to slowly go insane. There's no easy way to say it, I'm a half-wit. I talk in circles, you might think I got some grasp of it. But I'm a madman, I'm in distress. I'm right in front of you, would you kindly put an end to this? And I'm in shambles, I'm a Tommy gun. I speak in rambles like it's my native tongue. Am I a lost cause? Am I a tragedy? Am I too far flung up here in zero gravity? And I spend half the night just crying out in vain. But I got half a mind to slowly go insane. I spent half my night just burning up in flames. I got half a mind to slowly go insane. Let me go insane. let me go insane. All right, how are we doing? Is a lot of people got T-shirts? Okay. Oh boy. Look. I'll make more if they're gone. I'm so sorry. I never should have done this. I should have. I should just sing my songs and get out of here. I'm not a salesman. I'm a thief. I'm a thief of hearts, Emmett. Anyway, Mel, sorry I messed that all up. Melanie Stone, she works so hard to try to make sure I do what I'm supposed to do, and I blow it like that. I don't know what happened, but I hope somebody got a T-shirt. 8 years ago, I was 25 years old. I was about a month and a half away from the birth of my son. I was not. I thought I was supposed to be prepared for it, but I wasn't. And I have learned that that's okay. So any expecting fathers out there who are worried that they're not prepared to be a father, you'll figure it out. I have. I think I'm a halfway decent father. Anyway, I sort of selfishly, I felt like I was owed, before my son was born, I felt like I was owed a sort of last hurrah. And executive producer Ryan St. Angelo, his brother Jeff, who I grew up with, they grew up across the street from me. Our other friend Nick Arthur, Kyle Crothers, and Ross Hansen and Heidi Fifield, some of my oldest, dearest friends. They had planned a trip and bought tickets to a Bruce Springsteen show in Albany, New York on the 16th of April, 2012. And I decided that I was going to go to that show. It was, again, my last hurrah. And I mentioned my partner, Jessie, earlier. She, 7.5 months pregnant. Didn't kick up a stink when I told her I was going on this trip. She sent me packing, and I drove down to New York City for 3 days, where we acted like fools, and then we went up to Albany, and I saw my hero Bruce Springsteen play, and because I was the last guy to join the group and commit to the trip, I wound up with a ticket by myself, and I was in the, I was opposite the stage in the very back of the lower bowl of the arena by myself. I mean, I wasn't with my friends. I certainly wasn't by myself. I was surrounded by like-minded people whose life or lives at one point or another had been affected by the music of Bruce Springsteen. And driving down there, I kind of, I wondered what the set list would be like. He's obviously known for 3.5-hour shows, but he also has a very deep catalog to draw from. And I wondered if there's this one song at the time I really loved, and it was an outtake from The River, I believe. Never made a record. It's called "Janie, Don't You Lose Heart," and I certainly didn't expect him to play it, but I sure hoped he would. And anyway, standing alone, but not alone in this arena. The E Street Band left the stage, and there was a young lady in the crowd that was holding up a sign that I couldn't read because it was facing obviously forward to the stage. And Bruce grabbed the sign and he turned it around, and on it, even from where I was sitting, I could read that it said, "Janie, don't you lose heart." And he played the one song that I never thought I would hear him play, he played it. And you know, I'm not a religious person, and I'm not really spiritual, but sometimes I've been presented with proof that there's at least some sort of cosmic engineer that's overseeing all of this. And in that instant, to me, you know, of all of the signs and all of the people that would have drawn up signs that evening, he picked that sign out and played that song for that person. But also, I'd come a long way, and to hear him play that, it blew my mind. So anyway, that was 8 years ago, 8 years and a day ago, and so I'm gonna play that Springsteen song. You got your books, baby, with all your fears. Oh, let me, honey, and I'll catch your tears. I'll take your sorrow if you want me to. Yeah, come tomorrow, that's what I'll do. Listen to me, Janie, don't you lose heart. Janie, don't you lose heart. No, 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 no. Janie, don't you lose heart. Janie, don't you lose heart. So you say you got no new dreams to touch. You feel like a stranger, babe, who knows too much. When you come home late and you get undressed, and you lie in bed and feel the emptiness. Listen to me, Janie, don't you lose heart. Janie, don't you lose heart. No, 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 no. Janie, don't you lose heart. Janie, don't you lose heart. Till every river, baby, it runs dry. Until the sun, honey, is torn from the sky. Till every fear you felt burst free. Goes tumbling down into the sea. Listen to me, Janie, don't you lose heart. Janie, don't you lose heart. No, no, no. Janie, don't you lose heart. Janie, don't you lose heart. Listen to me, Janie, don't you lose heart. Janie, don't you lose heart. No, no, no. Janie, don't you lose heart. That's for all my buds who like their eggs silly side up. Over here. Oh boy. Another note from executive producer Ryan Santangelo. And I assume my poor manager, Melanie, who had big plans for all this to go down, and I'm certain I fucked them all up. Anyway, next week, I'm doing at least one more cross-country chin-up. It'll be volume 6. Next week is presented by the National Arts Center in Ottawa. In the outset of the sort of lockdowns and the closing of venues all over the country and the world, NAC came forward with $100,000 to offer $1,000 to 100 artists who would put on some sort of online show of any variety. And anyway, next week's my week, and we couldn't get it Friday, so it'll be on Thursday next week at the same time. It'll be 9 o'clock Eastern, or excuse me, 9 o'clock Atlantic, 10 o'clock Eastern. I don't know the rest of the time zones. Anyway, yeah, 9:30 in Newfoundland. Anyway, so next Thursday, and then we'll reassess after that one whether or not I'll do any more of these. I feel like I'm wearing out my welcome. In any event, if the shirts are gone, we'll have more ready for next Thursday. I promise. I'm glad. I don't know. It sounds like they're gone. So that's wicked. That's awesome. Been getting a lot of messages about this one. So I'm gonna play it again. It's a song about a drug deal that maybe or maybe didn't happen off the coast of Cape Breton Island, not far from where my father's from. The batch of songs I'm working on right now, as I've mentioned before, I'm trying to write songs about Nova Scotia, where I grew up, where I come from, and I'm a history buff, so I sort of am writing my own version of Nova Scotian history. These are a lot of them stories that probably didn't happen, but they could have. And this is one of them. It's a song called Lighthouse in Little Lorraine. It's for Keith Jollymore, my friend. I'm living in his home right now, his beautiful house in Seaforth, and he told me a couple weeks ago that his dearly departed mother, who was from Lewisburg, where my father's from, her nickname was Little Lorraine, and he never knew why. And he messaged me to tell me that learning about this little town outside Manitou, kind of between Manitou, I guess, and Lewisburg, called Little Lorraine. He figures that's why. She had that handle, which I thought was so cool. Anyway, here's this song about why you ought not traffic drugs in the 1980s in Cape Breton. I got an Uncle Huey, he's got a boat down in Manitou, And when I lost my job at Devco, he says, have I got a job for you? Well, I put my faith into no one. I got no time for the government. Since they blew up my house in Lewisburg and stuck it down on some blocks of cement. I hear there's a boat coming up from America. They got caskets filled with cocaine. And there's a gold mine out on the ocean and a lighthouse in Little Lorraine. There's a lighthouse in Little Lorraine. We took his boat off the coast of Bateston, just out of sight of the shore. Me and my cousin and a Frenchman I never laid eyes on before. We met a boat that had come up from Boston. We started heaving boxes overboard, and Huey handed them a big bag of money. We were back in the harbor around 4, singing there's a boat coming up from America with caskets filled with cocaine. There's a gold mine out on the ocean and a lighthouse in Little Lorraine. There's a lighthouse in Little Lorraine. We'd been met there by 7 morticians. They started loading boxes into their hearse. We'd set off with $8,000, laughing about what they'd spend it on first. The Frenchman tells me his name is Thibault, and he grew up in Ilmadam. We could all go to the church hall on Saturday and get drunker than hell at the dance. One night Thibault got fired up on moonshine. He tried to beat up the Catholic priest. We got thrown on our ass behind the church hall. We spent the night with the mounted police. We went working for weeks every Sunday, till Huey says we gotta slow down. Someone's been singing like a jailbird, and it brought all the Mounties to town. They heard there's a boat coming up from America with caskets filled with cocaine. They heard about the gold mine out on the ocean and the lighthouse in Little Lorraine. There's a lighthouse in Little Lorraine. He called us all down to the docks one night, and he hustled us out to the sea. He shut off the engines and the floodlights, and he pointed his shotgun at me. I said, Huey, I ain't the one been singing. Must be the Frenchman from Ilmadam. He says, that's just what a turncoat would tell me. Least you can do is to die like a man. Funny they could not be bothered with a casket. Oh, what use is it now to complain? There's a graveyard out on the ocean and a lighthouse in Little Lorraine. As the buckshot, it entered my brain. I saw the lighthouse in Little Lorraine. There's a lighthouse in Little Lorraine. That's for my cousin Darren from Duffel Drive in Sydney. His 40th birthday was the other day, and I love him dearly. I'll do a couple more, folks. Oh, better try this on for size. Peddling more stuff here. This is Blue Lobster's brand new Rocket. Just in time for whatever version of summer we're about to have. Yeah, here goes nothing. It looks like one of those popsicles you'd get from the Dickie D on Lake Banook when I was a youngster. Here goes nothing. Thanks again to Nova Scotia Spirit Company and Blue Lobster, and I hope this is good. Wowzers. It tastes just like the popsicle that I used to get from the Dickie D at Lake Banook in 1997, except 6% alcohol by volume. A little. It's good. I don't think you can drink too many of them in one sitting. It's pretty sweet, but my God, it tastes good. Thank you, Siobhan, for that. I've been trying to keep these chin-ups light because by the name alone, these are designed to try to. I wanted everybody to be able to escape from the 24-hour news cycle of the day, which is obviously dedicated to this very serious pandemic that the planet is facing. And I hoped that these could be an escape from all that, and that we could kind of pretend for a couple hours that everything was kind of, best we could. Pretend that everything's kind of normal. And I can't read it, but I can see it. I can see everybody talking the same way I feel like they would if they were at a show. It looks to me like there's a few of you, some buds on there that are yakking back and forth the same way you would if we were at the Marquee Club or whatever. That said, I watch the news. And I watch all of it. I don't. This may be an unpopular sort of opinion, but I watch Fox News, and sometimes I hear some valuable reporting from that news organization. And I will switch on CNN, and I hear every once in a while some valuable reporting from there. I watch a lot of CBC. I try to read as much as I can from often opposing sides of the political spectrum to help me stay informed about things. And there are arguments on both sides to be made that I think are valid. However, last night, while I was flicking through the channels, I saw a television celebrity who was a formerly licensed psychologist in the state of Texas. I heard him talking on Fox News as though he were an actual doctor, and that scared me because he's not a doctor. He's a celebrity that was endorsed by Oprah 20 years ago, and for whatever reason, as a result of that, people give him airtime. And what he said was dangerous. It was irresponsible, and it will more than likely lead to, at best, the suffering of some American families and maybe Canadian families, and at worst, it will lead to the death of a human being. And I guess all that to say, when you're watching the television, which is a place you go to try to be informed, during a time where we all desperately need to be informed and we're seeking important information. Please, when you watch any one of the number of 24-hour news networks, go into the program as a skeptic. What's so sad, I think, beyond the death and the suffering of this whole thing is how it's being politicized, and how it's also being used to sell advertising. And so please be wary of that and think critically. And this is a stupid song I wrote kind of at the outset of all this. It's hardly meant to be entertaining. It's more meant to be to shine a light on how absurd television has become in my lifetime. It's hard to watch, I think, these days. I've never played it. I don't know if I remember it, but I'm going to give it a go anyway, because it's what that whole preamble was for. I'll try it out. Sorry about the ramble there. I had to get it out of my system. Here goes nothing. Well, good morning, America. Let us tell you the fear that you need just to get on your feet. Here's your murder and war, and the Bachelorette shows us new ways to whiten your teeth. Welcome to today, where we shovel the sheds that you need for this cold end of days. There's a plague on our houses and disease at your door. So get that beach body ready for May. Welcome back, everybody, to the early show, and to discuss what the president has said is his political rival and a professor from Yale. And the winner of Big Brother 10. Do we lose 1,000 viewers? Okay, great. What does that say? People can order T-shirts right now. The label just opened it up for orders from Mel, and there's an X in the middle of it. I don't understand if this is true or not. No, that was our marker for the... Oh, I understand. Okay. So there's more T-shirts available to be ordered. We just haven't made them yet. So go on. You go to Bandcamp. if you'd like. Oh God. Am I? Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out Friday night. I'm going to miss being here on Friday night next week. I'll be here on Thursday. But who gives a shit anymore? There's no such thing as days of the week. I don't know what month it is anymore. I know that it was my mother's birthday a couple days ago, and that's essentially the only foothold that I have in the space and time continuum at this point. I don't know. Do you, Emmett? You don't know. Ryan, anything? No, nothing. Oh, if any of y'all know what day it is, go ahead and write it in the chat. Man, that is tasty. It's so good. That rocket, yeah, folks. In Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, wherever those rocket things are available, get one. Anyway, don't drink too many of them because it'll hurt in the morning, I suspect. But Jesus, they taste good. Gonna do one more song that I wrote. I kind of wrote it about my little girl, my daughter. Her name is Dalia, and when you have children, you see a lot of your kids in yourself. But my little girl is, oh boy, I don't know. I see a lot of the. She's only 5. She's not, she's not exuding depression or anything. She's a very happy young 5-year-old girl, but I can see in her face that she's got a lot of the things that caused me a lot of trouble when I was growing up. And I think that the difference between her and I is given the time that she's growing up in, we're all a little more aware of mental illness, and certainly I'll have my eye out for it. But this song is about trying to I guess in my own mind wrap my head around all the things that I struggled with, and then trying to make sure that my little girl doesn't have to go through all of the stuff that I did. Well, life's a trip at a breakneck speed, so when you're talking to me, will you spare me the fiction? I'll suffer a fool, but I can't suffer a liar. I can tell my own tales in the Queen's perfect diction. Now, who was it that gave me all this toxic waste and this ice in my veins that I see when I'm bleeding? Will I give her my darkness like I gave her my curls? And can I give her the world that was taken from me? And hold on tight, this is only the beginning. Let saints be saints and the sinners go down swinging. Hold on tight, it's fight, oh flight, oh flight, oh fight, whatever. Is a curse just a blessing that got all fucked up and did it trip in a rut and forget its ambition? That's just how I feel on the fairest of days, like a curse in a haze of my narrow volition. And hold on tight, this is only the beginning. Let saints be saints and the sinners go down swinging. And hold on tight, it's fight, oh flight, oh flight, oh fight, whatever. Well, life's a verse and oh shit. Oh, life's a verse and at the end of the page I'll be stuck in my ways, but it'll make for good reading. Will she learn about love, about truth, about faith from her daddy's mistakes, or will she learn just like me and hold on tight? This is only the beginning. Let's change, be saints, and the sinners go down swinging. And hold on tight. It's fight, oh flight, oh flight, oh fight, or whatever. Hold on tight. This is only the beginning. Let saints be saints, and the sinners go down swinging. Hold on tight, it's fight, oh flight, oh flight, oh fight, or whatever. Almost. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll do one more and hit the road. Thanks again, as always, my executive producer Ryan St. Angelo, my sound engineer extraordinaire Emmett Stutt, the Louis Thomas and Lil Thomas Sonic Temple for letting me come in here, and to Blue Lobster for keeping me on my game. It's best. There's only so much power that these little beverages have. I did what I could. I'll see you next Thursday. Please come hang out at least one more time, huh? This is I don't know what I should do. Yeah, I'll do I was talking earlier about songs about Nova Scotia that I wanted to write about the sort of downtrodden, and this is a song by a guy from out here named Lenny Gallant. This is the only song Emmett really wants to hear. He's been sitting through 4 of these things waiting for me to play it. It's a song about the downtrodden on Prince Edward Island. I love this song, and I love Lenny Gallant. He's been really nice to me. He was a guy that I grew up when I was a little kid. My parents had his compact discs, and he's achieved this sort of legendary status out here. And this is a great song. It just is. It's just a great song. It's called Peter's Dream. I still get up before the daybreak. I still walk down to the shore. I watch the sunrise from the Eastern Ocean, but I don't sail to meet her anymore. How could they have let this happen? We saw it coming years ago. Those greedy ships kept getting bigger and bigger, and the sonar told them where to go. Last night I dreamed that I was sailing out on the Sea of Galilee. We cast our nets upon the water, and Jesus pulled them in with me. Oh, where am I to go now? What about this boat I own? What about this old piano? And What about my father's bones? Last night I dreamed that I was sailing out on the Sea of Galilee. We cast our nets upon the water, and Jesus pulled them in with me. Oh, yes, He did. So Neely sang an old sea shanty, and Kelly told a mainland joke. And Lenny cursed and swore till his voice gave out, and then he asked me for a smoke. And then he took his father's shotgun, walked to the harbor to the town. He fired 14 shots and woke everyone up, and we watched that fucking boat go down. Last night I dreamed that I was sailing out on the Sea of Galilee. We cast our nets upon the water, and Jesus pulled them in with me. Last night I dreamed that I was sailing out on the Sea of Galilee. We cast our nets upon the water, and Jesus pulled them in with me. Oh yes, He pulled them in with me. Yeah, pulled them in with me. Yeah, pulled them in with me. I still wake up before the daybreak, and I still walk down to the shore. I watch the sunrise from the Eastern Ocean, but I don't sail to meet her anymore. Thank you, folks. I love you all very much. I'll see you next week, Thursday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace and love. Thanks, Emmett, Ryan.